1 year later, Natasha holds on for dear life as dark tendrils drag her towards a yawning pit in the floor.
No! I won't go back! I won't!
Hey, it's okay. I'm here now. Relax.
Natasha's mother hugs her as she feels adrenaline burning in her veins until she feels safe in her mother's embrace.
It's okay. It was just a dream.
Closing her eyes again, Natasha takes a few deep, calming breaths, letting the comforting warmth of the sun sink into them.
Are you better now?
I am now. Let's face this day.
All right. I'll go make you some breakfast.
Natasha's mom leaves the room. Sliding out of bed, Natasha crosses her closet to get dressed. As Natasha dresses, she finds herself looking at her scar. The long marks of skeletal fingers wrapped around her wrist.
Natasha, are you already done? I made waffles for you.
I'll be right down.
Natasha lets her arm fall to the side, then heads downstairs to see what the day holds for her. Outside, Natasha and her mom see Sid attempting to water his garden as Hilda attacks the water coming out of the hose.
Ha! That might be the cutest thing I have ever seen.
Won't be cute when my hydrangeas will, because this little demon drank up all their water.
Hilda gallops up to say hello, water dripping from her coat. Sid turns off the hose and follows her.
What's up with you, Natasha? I feel like I don't see you around much these days.
She moved in with her boyfriend Lucas. Plus, she's also been going to college.
That's right, I forgot about all that. How's that going?
College is kinda overwhelming, but in a fun way. And living with Lucas has been great as well. Though, it's weird not living in Westchester anymore.
At least you're close enough to come visit on the weekends. Bet Jen would appreciate that.
I sure would do.
What are you majoring right now?
Criminal justice. I want to become a detective.
Wow, that's a big goal you have on your shoulders. I'm sure you'll become the best detective in the world.
Thanks, Sid.
Sid ducks as Daffy swoops low over his head and lands on Natasha's shoulder.
Hey, buddy. Sorry, I don't have any snacks.
I got you covered.
Sid fishes a dog biscuit out of his pocket, handing it over. Natasha holds up the treat, and Daffy pecks at it suspiciously.
Look at him, acting like he's never stolen Hilda's treats before. Yesterday, I caught him eating out of her bowl.
What? Sorry. We'll try to keep a better eye on him.
Don't bother. He and Hildy are dominating the #interspecies_buddies tag on Instagram.
Whoa, I didn't realize I was living next to an internet celebrity.
Daffy grabs the rest of the biscuit and takes off, alighting in a nearby tree. Suddenly, as Natasha and her mother's eyes follow Daffy, they notice something moving just inside the tree line.
Reaper?
They both glance back at Sid, who's too busy petting Hilda to notice anything.
Who's a good dog? Is it Hildy?
Reaper takes a step towards them, but Natasha and her mom make frantic shooing motions at him.
Later. We'll play later. Go!
Reaper wanders back into the trees, disappearing into the brush.
You say something?
Nope, not a word.
Let me know if you ever want to borrow Hildy again. I think she misses hanging out over here.
I miss her too. Hilda might be the best dog ever.
Hilda flops down on their feet, laughing. Natasha and her mom crouch down to rub her belly.
Yep, definitely the best dog.
A small black shape suddenly bounds through the grass, swatting at bees.
No, you don't.
Natasha catches Luna mid-pounce, scooping her into her arms.
I know. The last time you caught one of those stings, it stung your mouth on the way down.
Hey, Hildy's made that mistake a few times. Poor girl had a fat lip for days.
Sid sighs, squinting up at the overcast sky.
Getting a little late. You two going to that memorial gathering later?
A weight drops into the pit of their stomachs.
Yeah. Mayor Green asked me to say a few words.
That gonna be okay for you?
He looks at Natasha's mom and hesitates, as if unsure what to say next.
It's okay, Sid. You can talk about it.
It's just, I heard a bit about what happened last year while I was gone. Can't imagine the hell you've been through. I don't mean to pry in your business, but how are you doing?
I'm doing good, actually. Not gonna lie. There was some time last year when I thought things were never going to get better. It took a lot of time and a lot of work, but I'm in a much better place now.
Natasha's mom and Sid smile. He gives Natasha a friendly pat on the shoulder.
I knew you'd bounce back. You're one tough kid.
We should probably get going. You're gonna be over for dinner tomorrow night? I'm making stir fry.
Wouldn't miss it for the world. See you then.
Setting Luna down in the grass, Natasha and her mom wave to Sid and Hilda, then walk out of their yard. Natasha's mom drives down the empty road, watching the shifting patterns the sun makes as it shines through the trees.
You know, Mom, despite everything, it's kind of a beautiful day.
It sure is. It feels very peaceful.
Smiling, Natasha pulls her phone out of her pocket.
I know someone that can make it even better.
The sunlight warms Lily's face through the window of the coffee shop. She sets down the book she's been reading and leans her head against the window, smiling a little to herself.
Lily? I thought that was you.
Britney stands in front of Lily. She gives her a casual smile, but her clenched fists betray how nervous she is.
Oh, Britney. Wow, you look great.
So do you. I can't believe it. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm taking a year off before applying to schools. What about you? How's college?
It's great. I'm learning a lot. Made a ton of new friends. I'm just in a town for the thing, you know? Jocelyn asked if I would come, and after what she did.
A brief moment of silence passes between the two of them. Britney bites her lip.
I'm actually glad I ran into you. I just wanted to tell you that I've been really trying to be a better person. It might be a little too late for us, but I took what you said to heart.
Britt, this is all you. Please, don't give me credit. You made the choice to change, and now you're doing it.
Sure, but I never would have seen how awful I was if it weren't for you. Lily, I'm so sorry for taking you for granted before.
What do you mean?
To Lily's surprise, Britney takes her hand.
I was such an idiot back in high school. My image was more important to me than anything else. But when I got to college, I got to start all over again. And I only felt like I could because I knew you'd want me to.
Oh, Britney.
I heard your voice telling me that this was my chance, and that I could be the person that I wanted to be. And if I hadn't been so stupid before, if I'd given us a chance, maybe I would have been that person already.
Maybe, but you can't change the past.
No, but I can change the future. Do you have any plans after the memorial? I was wondering if you'd want to.
Something wrong, babe?
Shannon puts Lily's peppermint cocoa down in front of them and kisses Lily's cheek before sitting down. Lily gently pulls her hand out of Britney's.
No, not at all. Britt, this is my girlfriend Shannon. Her family just moved here over the summer.
Oh, hi.
Shannon, this is an old friend, Britney. We were inseparable in middle school.
Does that mean it's time for embarrassing stories from Lily's childhood?
What, you didn't get enough of them from my parents?
You know I can never get enough of you.
Shannon smiles at Lily, tucking a stray curl of hair behind her ear.
Britney was just asking if we had plans after the memorial.
I think your mom said something about game night?
Don't worry about it. I just remembered I had plans too, so I should go. It was great seeing you, Lil.
Oh, yeah.
Britney opens her mouth, hesitates, then turns away. Lily watches her go.
Lil?
Sorry, got a little distracted.
That was kind of weird, huh? You okay?
Lily looks at Shannon, her brow furrowed in concern.
Honestly, not really. Yeah, just... it's a weird day.
Shannon takes Lily's hand, squeezing gently.
You know I'm here for you, right? You can talk to me about anything.
I know. Thank you.
Smiling, Shannon sits back and picks up her book. They sit, reading together until late into the afternoon. A few weeks into the school year, Andy's team is getting ready to play Anderton High.
All right, guys. Good hustle on those shooting drills, everyone. Let's take 5. Then split into 2 teams for scrimmage.
Sure thing, Cap.
You ready to get wrecked, Ben?
We'll see about that.
While Andy's teammates head over to the bleachers to stretch or grab water, he makes his way to the locker room, where he collapses on the bench.
Oh, man. Oh, damn, that hurts.
He doubles over, both hands clutching his left knee, as hot pain stabs through his bones. He squeezes his eyes shut, breathing through clenched teeth until the pain subsides.
It's bad today?
Andy jumps, looking up to see Tom standing in the doorway.
Tom! Yeah. It's bad.
Andy glares down at his knee, the skin a tangle of angry red scars.
2 surgeries, bunch of titanium screws, physical therapy, and this stupid thing still knocks me on my ass some days. It's not fair.
Tom walks over to sit beside Andy on the bench.
So, that's why you're hiding in here?
Huh? I'm not hiding. I didn't want anyone to see me.
You're right. Totally different. Look, I get if you're freaking out a little. It's your first game back since the injury. Plus, you having to repeat senior year because of all the medical leave just sucks in general.
It's not that.
The two of them sit in silence for a few long moments. Finally, Andy lets out a long sigh.
I don't want to lose it all again. You know? Not after everything I did to get here. Training like hell to make the team. Putting up with the team ignoring me. And Ben being a jerk.
Not to mention surviving the homecoming attack.
Right? But after all that, it's like I'm even worse off than before. How am I supposed to win against Anderton when one bad step can take me from a 0 to a 10 on the pain scale?
Yeah, that does sound kind of impossible. Oh wait, you know what I just remembered?
Huh? What?
Tom reaches over and smacks Andy lightly on the back of the head.
You don't have to win the game by yourself, dummy. I don't know if you're aware, but basketball's one of those team sports.
But what if I can't pull my weight? I don't want to hold the team back by limping around the court.
Dude, your new training regimen is what got us our first 2 wins this season. We beat Greenville by like 20 points. Even if you didn't score a single basket, you've already done more work than the rest of us combined. You don't have to prove anything to those guys. If they can't see you're the best captain this team's ever had, that's their loss. Honestly, a big part of me wants to kick every guy that's looked at you funny off the team, possibly set them on fire.
And people think I'm the mean one.
But even I can see they're coming around. You'd see it too if you looked. So, we gonna go back out there? I mean, if your leg feels okay.
Andy slowly gets to his feet, smiling.
Yeah. It's actually feeling pretty good. Okay, let's get back to practice.
Aye aye, Captain.
Tom gets up, and Andy follows him out of the locker room. Back on the court, Andy, Ben, and another player square off against Tom and 2 new freshman players.
Too bad you're stuck with the newbies, Tom.
Just means it'll be more embarrassing when we crush you.
Don't get too cocky.
Andy swipes the ball and starts dribbling towards the basket. His leg twinges, forcing him to stop.
Ow!
Wincing, Andy looks around for someone to pass to.
Andy, over here!
Andy passes the ball right into Ben's hands, and he pivots to sink an easy basket.
Woo! That's 2-0.
Hey, look! Ben actually knows how to count.
Ben's eyes burn with rage. He opens his mouth to say something, but then stops himself.
You're a real jerk, Tang.
Takes one to know one.
Smirking, Ben scoops up the ball and tosses it to Tom, starting the next round.
All right, team. Show me what you got.
Stacy rushes into a restaurant. 5 minutes past when she's supposed to meet Connor and her mom for lunch. She runs up to the concierge.
Hi, can you point me to...
Stace!
He waves Stacy over to a table in the back. When she approaches, he rises to hug her, and her mom follows suit.
You're late.
I know! Sorry, one of the girls fell off the balance beam at work, and it was a whole mess.
Don't apologize. I'm just happy to see you, darling.
She kisses both of Stacy's cheeks before she pulls out the chair next to Connor and takes a seat.
What did I miss?
Nothing much. Mom was going on about her new campaign efforts. Totally miserable.
Stacy's mom shoots Connor a look, but can't help but smile.
Now that you're here, I want to hear about you. How are things going?
My manager says I'm doing really well, and the girls really seem to love me. I heard they might even offer me a full-time coaching position.
Hey, congrats, Stace.
Are you sure you have time for that? These are going to be some very important years for your future, Stacy. I would hate to think you're not making the most of them.
Mom.
All I'm saying is that if you're wasting your time now, you'll regret it in a few years when you're playing catch-up. And all of your peers are passing you by, and...
She trails off, her gaze passing between Stacy and Connor.
I'm overstepping again, aren't I?
Just a little.
It's okay, Mom.
No, I said I'd be better about this, and darn it if we Greens can't do anything we set our mind to.
I'll drink to that.
No, you will not.
I'll drink to that on your behalf.
Stacy lifts her water glass and clinks it against Connor's and her mom's. A short while later, Stacy and her family leave the restaurant.
I am stuffed. I may need a quick nap when I get home. Stacy, are you riding with your brother?
Stacy turns to Connor.
If that's okay with him, we haven't gotten much of a chance to catch up.
Sure. We'll see you tonight at the Memorial, Mom.
Mayor Green wraps both of them in a hug before walking off to her car. They watch her go.
The Memorial tonight. Are you sure you're up to this?
Honestly, no. I don't know how I'm gonna get through it. I'm just really glad you'll be there.
Of course. Anything you need. I'll be right there next to you.
Connor wraps his arms around her shoulders, squeezing her into a bear hug.
You survived that. And you're gonna make it through this. I promise. We've got a little time. What if we hit the ice cream parlor before we head out? Would that make you feel better?
Duh. Especially if you're buying.
He laughs, dropping his arms.
Come on. Ice cream's on me.
Chatting amiably, the two of them make their way down the street. Lucas listens with rapt attention as his environmental studies professor closes her lecture.
Please take note. There is an exhibit on sustainable architecture in the Miller Gallery this week. I encourage you all to go.
Lucas raises his hand, and the professor nods in his direction.
Is going to the exhibit required for this class?
It is not, but I do think it will give you some insights on this week's readings. I've also graded your papers from last week. Please come and collect them on your way out. That is all.
Lucas joins the line of students filing past the table at the front of his hall, grabbing his own essay from the pile.
B-?
He feels his heart starting to race, the paper trembling in his fingers. Quickly stepping out of line, Lucas takes a deep breath, letting it out slowly.
It's no big deal. Just one paper.
Problem?
Lucas looks up, realizing that he and the professor are the only ones left in the lecture hall.
Just a little disappointed.
Let me guess. You had straight A's in high school?
I got an A- one time.
May I?
She holds out her hand, and Lucas gives her the paper. She skims through the first page, nodding to herself.
Yes, I remember this one. Your thesis was very strong, but I found your supporting arguments a bit unpolished. Perhaps another round of editing next time?
You're right. It did need some more polish.
Lucas cuts himself off, looking down at his shoes.
Sorry. You probably don't want to hear excuses. I'll do better next time.
Professor Bott raises an eyebrow at Lucas.
I always want my students to tell me what's troubling them, Lucas. And as it so happens, we are currently within my scheduled office hours. So...
Okay. The thing is, last year, I had a traumatic experience. I'd rather not go into details, but needless to say, I'm still recovering.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
I generally feel well enough to attend classes, but I have to be careful to prioritize my health as well. Last week, I was forced to choose between spending another hour on that paper or getting a much-needed hour of sleep.
Professor Bott looks down at Lucas's paper. She reads for a long moment, flipping through the pages.
So, did you want to talk about my paper, or...?
First, I want to say that I admire your self-awareness. It usually takes until junior year for students to realize the importance of sleep.
Thank you. I wish I hadn't had to learn that the hard way.
I'm sure you do. Second, I have a question. Can you guess why I remembered your paper in particular?
Was it because I used the word juxtapose too much?
At least 4 times, by my count.
I've been trying to cut back.
Actually, your paper stood out because of the passages like this. Many choose to draw a distinction between the natural world and the world humanity creates for itself. But to separate ourselves from nature is to deny responsibility for its well-being. We do so at our own peril.
She hands the paper back to Lucas, smiling.
You are very passionate about environmental conversation, aren't you?
Yeah, ever since I was a kid. I'd like to get involved with politics someday. I want to write laws that protect the environment.
A worthy goal indeed. Hold on to that passion, Lucas. That more than anything is what's going to set you apart.
Lucas hugs the paper to his chest, grinning wide with excitement.
I will, I promise. Thank you so much, Professor.
Lucas trails off as an alarm starts going off on his phone.
The memorial... Sorry, I have to go. There's somewhere I have to be.
He stuffs his paper into his bag and heads towards the door.
Lucas?
Lucas pauses, looking back to see Professor Bott smiling at him.
Yes, Professor?
Do stop by that exhibit I mentioned. I think you'll enjoy it very much.
I will. Thanks again.
Grinning, he hurries out of the lecture hall and into the afternoon sun. The hours quietly creep by as Ava types feverishly on her laptop.
Hang on. If this spirit started to show up in the 18th century, that would mean this.
Hey, it's Ava. Hi, Ava.
Ava's eyes flick up to see Tom, waving enthusiastically as he approaches his table.
Shh. Just hold still, Ava. If you don't move, maybe he'll think you're dead.
Tom sits down, peering curiously at the stack of books and papers strewn about Ava.
Westchester Dark History. Forbidden Magics. What is all this stuff?
Ava sighs, spinning her laptop around so that Tom can see.
Looking for more information on the spirit Natasha sealed. We do have 9 years before it comes again. This is everything the library has on the Westchester spooky history, plus a bunch of stuff that I found in Cora's house.
You went back there and took her stuff? I thought the cops locked the place down.
We were kindred spirits. sisters in the dark arts. You'd understand if you'd ever met her.
I did meet her once, actually.
Wait, really?
Yeah, she was waiting at the bus stop and I almost ran her over on my skateboard. I think she called me a bone-headed gutter snipe?
Classic Cora.
Tom leans forward, squinting at a small leather-bound journal sitting open in front of her.
The rites of becoming. What's that mean? Becoming what?
Ava closes the book.
Who knows? Spirit stuff.
Tom eyes Ava suspiciously, then goes back to scanning her notes.
How far back do these stories go?
Farther than we have records of. There were local legends about a forest spirit long before Goddard E. Phileas and the group got here. Some of these stories are total crap, though. Plenty of idiots will swear Sasquatch lived in these woods.
Wait, you're telling me all this stuff is real, but Sasquatch isn't?
That's totally different. Sasquatch doesn't even...
Ava splutters to a stop, scowling at Tom.
Sorry, didn't mean to give you a hard time. This magic stuff is still pretty weird to me. I'm glad you guys told me what was really going on. It's just hard to believe when I haven't seen it, you know? I'm still processing the whole Natasha has magic powers herself, and it's already been a year since I found out.
But what about that thing where you were a zombie? Seriously? Clammy skin, evil, glowing eyes, the whole deal?
Yeah, I still don't remember any of that. I remember passing out in the gym, and I remember waking up in the woods days later. Everything between is just a weird blur.
Fine. You want to see some magic?
Yes?
Ava moves her computer aside, then places a quarter on the table in front of her, covering the coin with one hand. Ava starts to move it in circles. The circles get smaller and smaller until...
Presto.
Ava lifts her hand, and the quarter's gone.
What? How'd you do that? Where'd it go?
Blah blah, true magician, blah blah, secrets. Okay, I will admit I don't have spiritual powers like Natasha, but I have a couple of tricks up my sleeve myself.
Okay, you win. Magic is real.
Still laughing, Tom glances at his watch. His face falls a little, and he stands up.
Better go return my books. You gonna go to the thing tonight?
The memorial. Will there be hugging? Physical affection gives me hives.
No unwanted hugs will be had. Cross my heart. Hope to see you there. Maybe you can teach me that magic trick.
Ava waits until Tom's out of sight, then picks up the quarter from her lap and sets it back on the table.
Sucker born every minute.
Ava stares at the quarter, unblinking. Her eyes begin to burn, her heart quickening, as the rest of the world seems to blur.
Come on.
The quarter quivers, then shoots off the table. Ava slumps back in her seat, drained, but grinning.
Awesome.
After school, Dan enters the auditorium, making his way towards a freshman sitting by herself.
Hey, Izzy?
Do I know you?
I'm Dan, your peer counselor?
Oh, right.
Dan takes a seat a few chairs down from Izzy. She ignores him, playing with her phone.
What you doing?
Nothing. Just a stupid game.
Oh yeah? Is it any fun? I have been looking for a new game to pick up. How do you play?
You tap on a stupid dinosaur that lays an egg, which hatches into another stupid dinosaur that lays more stupid eggs.
Huh? Is it fun?
No, I hate it.
Izzy stuffs her phone into her pocket and crosses her arms, scowling at the floor.
So, your teacher said you've been missing from some classes lately, and there was an incident with a friend of yours?
I guess.
Izzy, we don't have to talk about it. We can just sit here, if that's what you want. I'll even leave if you want me to. I'm just here to help. If you want to talk, you can. If not, that's okay too.
Izzy chews on her lip, still staring down.
I didn't mean to scream at Kendra or Miss Claus. I haven't been sleeping great lately. Or much at all.
Any particular reason?
Izzy fidgets in her seat, looking at Dan sideways.
No offense, but I don't think it's really something you would be able to... Oh my gosh, you're that guy.
That guy?
Izzy's face flushes pink.
I didn't mean... I'm sorry. I've just heard a bunch of rumors, is all.
What have you heard?
People say all kinds of dumb stuff.
Like what?
Like, that you drank a whole bottle of rubber cement, and they found you naked in a cave.
Dan stares for a minute, then bursts out laughing.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. That's not even the weirdest one I've heard. Honestly, at this point, I'm used to it. But we're not here to talk about me. What's keeping you up at night?
Izzy rubs at her arm.
There's just some stuff going on with my parents.
That's tough. It's hard to care about school stuff when bad stuff is happening at home.
Whatever. It's nothing like what happened to you. I mean, I don't know what happened to you, but...
Izzy, it's not a contest. What happened to me is a long story. Honestly, in some ways, it's probably not as bad as you've heard. And in other ways, it's probably worse. Stress, trauma, whatever. We all experience stuff differently, and we all respond to it differently.
Yeah.
Izzy swallows.
My grandma died a couple weeks ago, and my dad's not handling it great. I'm worried about him. He's been drinking more. A lot more.
I'm listening.
Izzy takes a deep breath and slowly, painfully, begins to talk.
Wow. I wasn't expecting so many people.
Mayor Green spots Natasha and her mother and beckons them over. They both climb up the steps, and she pulls both of them into a tight hug.
It's good to see you both. Natasha, thank you so much for agreeing to speak tonight. I hope it was okay, Jen. I just thought it would be best if the words came from someone who knew them well.
No problem at all, dear.
Before I forget, I was cleaning out my attic last night and found this.
Mayor Green produces a DVD case labeled Stacy and Friends in Natasha's Yard.
A home video? Of all of us?
I remember this. Connor took this shortly after you all met in elementary school.
In any case, seeing you all so happy together made me smile on this sad day. I was wondering if you'd be alright with playing this video at the end of the memorial.
That sounds like a good idea. Goodness knows we could use some more smiles.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Great! I'll have them play it when you're done speaking.
Mayor Green hands the DVD off to an assistant. Then Natasha and Mayor Green walk toward the podium, while Natasha's mom stands next to Lucas. A hush falls over the crowd as Mayor Green speaks into the microphone.
Good evening, everyone. It warms my heart to see you all gathered here today. As you know, today marks 1 year since wild animals attacked Westchester High, injuring dozens and killing Cora Pritchard.
In the crowd, Natasha spots the somber faces of the Westchester High teaching staff.
Unfortunately, this was all caused by a young boy who will not be mentioned his name tonight.
Standing beside the podium, she feels her skin bristle.
Wild animal attacks?
Fuming, Natasha bites back her words as Mayor Green continues her speech.
Now, I'd like to call up Natasha Ayala to say a few words about those who lost their lives in the tragedy of last year.
She steps aside, and Natasha takes her place at the podium. Behind her, workers set up a projector and a large screen.
Hi, everyone.
Natasha's voice catches. Tears start to form in her eyes. Desperately, she looks out across the crowd for a familiar face. Her mom gives her a reassuring thumbs up, and Natasha takes a deep breath, then continues.
I wanted to share a few things about the people we lost last year.
Natasha picks up a small remote and turns to the projector. An image of Cora's face shows up on the screen.
Cora Pritchard. I only met Cora a couple of days before she died, but she helped my friends and me out of a really tough spot. She also knew my dad, who I never met, but she also helped him out of his tough spot till his dying breath. She was cranky, but in the best way. Cora didn't care about what anyone else thought of her. I wish I had her confidence. I wish I gotten the chance to know her better. Then maybe I'd be able to do her justice. Now, about the young boy Mayor Green mentioned. Everything that happened because of him. I wish I could have seen how toxic he was. He was more interested in blaming people for his sister's death than moving past it. I should have seen that his grief had twisted him up inside, but I didn't. At least, not in time to prevent him from hurting my friends.
Natasha takes a deep breath, casting a glance toward the distant trees outside of town.
This is gonna sound strange, but I can feel like a part of him is still out there. Lost. Empty. But I hope the police force brings him to justice and that he pays for what he did. I hope he has to live with the knowledge of what he did every single day. That's better than he deserves.
Down below, people begin to turn to each other, whispering and casting confused glances at Natasha's direction. Natasha closes her eyes and sighs.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Natasha steps back from the mic and makes her way down the library steps. As Mayor Green retakes the podium, Natasha searches the crowd for the faces of her friends. Lucas and Natasha's mom approach Natasha.
I know it was though, dear, but you said the right thing.
Thanks, Mom.
Natasha looks at Lucas and smiles.
Hey.
Hi.
I'll leave you two alone for now.
Oh, Mom, it's okay. You don't have to.
We have no problem with you accompanying us.
Don't worry about me. I'll be talking with Sid.
She wraps him in a hug.
Always so gentle and sweet. I'm glad Natasha picked you.
Thanks, Jen. It means a lot coming from you.
Of course, dear. You're family now. We'll better get going now. Have fun.
All right. Goodbye, Jen.
Natasha's mom turns to go, but turns to her instead.
Oh, I almost forgot. Let me know when you're done so we can head to that place later tonight.
Oh, yeah, for sure. See you later, Mom.
Natasha's mom leaves, and Natasha turns to Lucas.
Hey there, college man.
Lucas pulls Natasha in for a kiss, then hugs her tight against his chest.
Hey, yourself. I missed you today.
I can tell.
Up on the steps, Mayor Green signals to one of their assistants, who loads a DVD into the player.
And now, we have a special treat that I hope will bring a little smile to your face. This video was taken about 10 years ago.
She presses a button on the remote, and a video begins to play on the screen.
Is it on yet?
I think so. The red thing is flashing.
Shouts ring out from the other end of the yard.
Holy cow!
Fascinating.
Jane! Come look at this frog!
I don't wanna. Frogs are gross.
But it's huge!
Whoa!
Connor swings the camera around to focus on Dan, who's waving at the fat amphibian in the air.
Look! It's a monster frog!
It's a toad, actually. Bufo-boreas.
Nerd!
Bufo's a funny name.
Careful, my dad says some toads are poisonous.
Connor, are you even paying attention? You said you would help.
Yeah? And you said you wouldn't be a brat about it.
Fine. I'll just practice instead.
Stacy comes back into frame, cartwheeling across the yard.
Wow, can you teach me how to do that?
I want to learn.
Mom said I should leave coaching to the professionals.
Why's that?
Because last time I tried to teach someone a trick, they broke a window.
Oh, come on, please.
Stacy glances at the camera, doubtfully.
Don't worry, Stacy. There's no windows out here. Just stay on the grass. It's fine.
Okay.
As the rest of the kids rush over towards Stacy, Connor sees Natasha sit down next to Jane on the edge of the pond.
You don't want to do cartwheels?
No. They look scary. You should go do them though.
Nah, you're my best friends. I want to hang out with you.
I'm your best friend? Really?
Of course.
But
Jane looks down, kicking her feet in the water.
But I'm not good enough at stuff like Stacy. Or smart like Lucas. Or brave like Andy, even you.
Natasha puts an arm around Jane's shoulders.
You don't have to be brave all the time, because you've got me to watch over you. But you gotta promise to watch out for me too, okay? Best friends gotta protect each other.
Okay.
Jane holds out her pinky, hooking it around Natasha's.
Best friends.
Best friends.
Later that night, Natasha and her friends sit crammed around one of the tall tables at Pizza Mega.
Oh yeah, this was a good idea.
Pretty sure Pizza Mega is always a good idea.
Whoa, Ava! Easy on those pepper flakes!
Ava stares at Andy as mounds of pepper flakes pour out of the shaker and onto her pizza.
Don't tell me how to live my life, Kang.
She raises the pizza to her mouth and takes a huge bite, maintaining eye contact as pepper flakes crunch between her teeth.
That's just unnatural.
Ugh, whatever. Give me that.
Connor smirks, nudging Natasha with his elbow as Andy starts dumping pepper onto his own pizza.
Remember Stacy's 6th birthday party? The one where you bet Andy wouldn't drink from the hot sauce bottle?
Do not give them ideas.
Lucas returns to the table with a pitcher of soda and a stack of cups.
Who's ready for a graveyard?
Lucas and I have been perfecting it for years.
And I dare say this is the finest batch I've ever brewed.
Lucas, hit me up with one of those.
Lucas pours Natasha a glass of the purplish brown liquid, and she sniffs it dubiously.
Oh no. Tell me you didn't put fruit punch in it.
Just a dash. I feel it's a lovely counterpoint to the root beer.
Natasha takes a sip, making a face as a dozen different flavors assault her tongue.
Ugh. That is just new levels of awful. Congratulations, babe.
Thank you.
As Natasha finishes her pizza, she notices Dan staring pensively out the window.
What's on your mind, Dan?
Just thinking about how much has changed. Can you believe it's already been a year?
Not really. Feels like it all happened yesterday.
You guys see Jocelyn at the thing today?
I didn't know she was here. How is she doing?
Better. Seems like.
Better like she can walk again, or better like not being a jerk anymore.
Either way, I'm glad she's alright.
I'm glad we could all hang out like this. It's been a while.
Yeah, I've missed you guys.
I say we make a pledge, right here and right now, that we'll never fall out of touch again.
And to always be there for each other.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Andy holds up his glass of graveyard.
To getting the group back together. For good this time.
Well, not the whole group.
Everyone goes quiet for a long minute.
Do you guys ever wonder what's up with him now? Noah, I mean.
Natasha thinks back to that night, when her and her friends stopped the spirit.
Yeah, sometimes.
Suddenly, Natasha's phone alarm sounds, and she notices her mom in the car.
Oh, crap! Guys, I have to do something, so I'll come back later.
Of course. We shall wait for your arrival.
Natasha laughs and gives Lucas a peck on his cheek and leaves the pizzeria. Natasha's mom drives on an empty road, then stops in the woods.
Well, we're here.
Then let's get going.
Natasha and her mom walk in the woods until they make it to the ruins. They go inside the ruins and Reaper shows up excitedly.
Hey, Reaper. Good to see you too.
Reaper is such a sweet creature, but it's been a year and I'm not used to all of this.
I don't blame you. It's hard to believe all of this.
Why didn't you tell your friends you were coming here?
They're still shaken up from last year's events. I don't want to force them to come here and traumatize them more.
I don't blame them. I still can't believe what you and your friends been through. It must have been hell for you.
Yeah.
The two make it down the stairs and approach the mirror.
Thanks for guiding it, Reaper.
Natasha plays fetch with Reaper for a bit and pets him. After a while, the two stay silent for a long moment.
It's still here. Good as new.
I can't believe John was going through all of this. I thought he was just killing because he was mentally ill. But this was more than just that.
Natasha's mom closes her eyes, feeling guilt.
I wish I would have believed him. Then I wouldn't have abandoned him.
Mom, it's not your fault. This whole thing is complicated to believe. Especially something out of the ordinary and unnatural.
Yeah, I guess. That shadow was so horrible and disgusting for keeping Jane in prison.
You said it. Such a bastard. At least, it won't show its ugly face for another 9 years.
Now that you mentioned it, it has to be this particular mirror.
I have no idea. I hope not.
Is it wise to leave the mirror here? Anyone can come here and it could happen again.
Lucas and I have someone making a special room. We'll have it out from Westchester when it's done. In the meantime, I'll keep on coming here and keep a close eye on it.
Natasha's mother curiously peeks into the mirror and makes a sad expression.
I bet she's thinking about Dad. She must be suffering in her own way.
She then regains her composure and turns back to Natasha.
I don't know how you're still in a way unfazed by the occult and the supernatural. It's just... I'm getting heartburn just thinking about it.
Well, it is the Phileas' purpose in life. Honestly, now I'm even more curious about spirits and the occult. It's all because I've been able to see them with my own eyes.
You're equally as tough as John.
Well, I will admit, I was obviously scared too during that event. But you know what? I still want to pursue this. And that emotion is so much stronger in me than fear or disgust.
So, that's why you chose criminal justice as your career goal.
That's right.
That's what I thought. You don't want an ordinary life. You want a life that allows you to utilize your special power.
Yeah. I want to go after all kinds of mysteries and learn all their secrets.
There's no one else suited for that than you, of course.
Natasha's eyes light up in the darkness, like she's stalking some kind of majestic beast.
I'll do everything I can to protect the ones I love. I'll find the answers and put an end to this once and for all.
Noah is sitting alone at a booth near the back of the restaurant, lost in thoughts.
Refresh your coffee?
Oh, sure. Thanks.
Jane.
What did you say?
His heart practically leaps out of his chest. But the waitress refilling his coffee cup doesn't seem to notice.
Jane, it's my name. I just figured we ought to get to know each other, considering this is the third time I've seen you this week.
Oh, right. Sure. Okay.
And this is the part where you tell me your name?
Yeah. My name is Malcolm. It's Malcolm.
Nice to meet you, Malcolm.
Yeah. Same.
She finishes pouring Noah's coffee, then sets the pot down and takes a seat.
So, where are you from?
I'm from Oregon.
No kidding. That's quite a hike. Are you running from something?
Jane winks, and Noah finds himself laughing nervously.
Sorry, I was just kidding. Am I being rude? I feel like I'm being rude.
No. You're fine. I'm just in the area looking for work. I do landscaping.
Interesting.
Noah takes a sip of coffee to hide his shaking hands.
So, what brings you into this dump so often?
I like the food.
Compared to what? Roadkill?
I don't know. I've had worse.
Oh, you poor thing.
They share a laugh. He feels good, like letting out a breath he's been holding too long.
So, hey, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Well, I'm just wondering, as often as I see you in here, how come you're always alone?
The breath catches in Noah's throat. Just as the bell above the door rings, announcing the arrival of new customers.
Be right with you.
Jane sighs and rolls her eyes as she pushes up from the table.
Well, Malcolm, it was nice talking to you. Let's do it again sometime.
Noah nods, but his eyes have locked on the two new customers and their badges.
Oh no.
As Jane makes her way towards the front of the restaurant, Noah quietly gets up from the table and heads for the back door. Halfway there, a nagging thought leaps from the back of his mind and drags Noah to a stop.
I didn't tip her. There's no time. Just go, Noah. Just turn around and go.
Noah glances in Jane's direction, feeling conflicted.
Damn it.
Cursing his stupidity, Noah hurries back and tosses $10 onto the table, just in time to overhear the conversation in the front.
Oh, do you mean Malcolm? Yeah, he's right over.
Noah starts running before he ever hears the end of the sentence. And he keeps running, long after.